Hey, good evening. My name is Likuyani Eli. Welcome to yet another episode of Nobody Cares. And tonight, guys, I have so much that I want us to cover, even as we begin the conversation. In case this is your first time joining us, you can always follow us on TheArtsinHeart on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and without forgetting on Twitter now, okay? So for the first timers, I want to give you time to get to tune in. If you're subscribing, let me know you have done so in the comment section, and then we can begin with this conversation. I guess you guys done that already. Okay, fine. So karibu sana, karibu sana. Let us know where you're watching us from. Let us know how this conversation is affecting you tonight. And my point of anchor tonight in Nobody Cares, I want us to discuss about obstacles. Well, a lot of people might be there and they know obstacles. It's something you've come across, in whatever aspect of field of life you are in, be it professionally or privately. We all have obstacles that we face. Probably you want to let me know in the comment section what kind of obstacle is the minority in your life or probably in your professional aspect. Let me know in the comment section as we engage tonight, okay? I don't want you to give me the major one. I want you to give me the minor obstacle that you're facing tonight or during this month, knowing that we're actually already in the month of February. And I see OD Boy says he's watching us from Pipeline, Embakasi, and locked in. Karibu sana maze. Thank you so much for joining us. I see Nancy Magan there saying good evening to you, Nancy. So let us engage one another. And as we do that, I want us to get to discuss obstacles. So get a piece of paper and pen and write one obstacle that you faced in the month of January. Or imagine that obstacle you've been trying to face out throughout your life, okay? So let us not make it so complicated, just one. I don't want you to do 10, I don't want you to do 20. I want you to pick on one. Great. You guys are doing so well so far. So we have picked our obstacle, and allow me to help us understand what an obstacle is. The layman's understanding of an obstacle will be anything that blocks or hinders the path of something else, okay? That is the layman's understanding or definition, I'll put it. But quick enough, let's just see what the English people say about obstacle. And the definition of obstacle will be a thing that blocks one's way or prevents or hinders progress. That is a thing that blocks one's way or prevents or hinders progress. So you guys understand what an obstacle is. Edel Kweyu karibu sana. Anasema napenda tu bidii yako, more love. Thank you so much, Edel. Now, Edel, tuambie where you're watching us from, Azed, because we want to know where you're watching us from. That is very important. And without forgetting, we have Rando Williams who says, true, outer Kangundo. That should be Kangundo. Okay, outer ring Kangundo. If I'm not wrong, thank you so much, Rando Williams. Thank you so much for joining in. And we are discussing obstacles. So we already defined what an obstacle is. And I tell you guys, it's something that blocks one's way. Imagine you're walking into let's say, let's do the examples that I love so much. We are on the freeway, or probably you are driving on that small street in your estate, and then you find a log of a tree on your way. What happens? 9 out of 10, you probably wanna try and maneuver yourself and avoid that obstacle. But sometimes, some people, because they think their cars are strong enough, they will ride over the log. Okay, that goes without saying. It might be the smartest thing to do because you're trying to save time. And I don't know what else you might have tried to spoil on your way up the log. Now, the other aspect of an obstacle that might be familiar with most of you, let's talk about choking. If you're eating and by chance, that is not so lucky chance, something goes through the airway instead through the throat, what happens? It blocks the airway and then you start coughing. This is a true example that something is in the wrong hole. Okay, guys, don't start saying what hole we're talking about. We're talking about the air hole. Watching you from Utawala, Nairobi, Kenya. Thank you so much for joining. Edel, thank you. Naona mwingine asema, I love this watching from Kirinyaga. Thank you so much. Brian McLove, we love you back. So, we are there and we've established that there's something blocking your airway. What happens is most of you will start adopting to that word. You know, I can't breathe. Are we together to that point? So we have blocked the airway. For those of us who might have some training in first aid, I believe you learned something about the ABC of life, okay? That is the airway. You have to check that the airway is free, and then you have to check that the casualty is breathing, and then you have to check the circulation, okay? I think these are some of the things we learned at St. John Ambulance. So once you have identified those things, you want to see how you're going to help this guy that is choking on probably a piece of meat. Mengia wrong hole. So let's proceed to the other obstacle that most of us face every day. We face obstacles that are actually internally generated. And some of these obstacles, they will let you or tell you that the most one is you are not good enough. Have you ever heard that? Yes, that voice that tells you constantly you are not good enough. I believe that is the greatest obstacle most of us deal with today. I believe that is the greatest obstacle that kills a lot of ambitions and dreams. Because then you are trying as much as possible to show you are capable. But there's always a voice within that tells you you are not good enough. That obstacle, my dear friends, it's called self-esteem or self-doubt. Or there's just a negative mind that continually takes you captive and reminds you, Maze, it doesn't matter what you're doing. You are not good enough. You are not meant for this. You are not meant for this site of, you are not supposed to be here. Who are you? Have you ever come to that level of doubt that we call, who are you? Who am I? Rudi hapo kwa hall kiasi. Wewe Edel, cheza chini kidogo. We'll come back to that. But for the moment, my obstacle is how to distinguish real friends from fake ones. And that's something that a lot of people will be struggling with, Nancy. A lot of people struggle with identifying who their true friends are. Sometimes you walk through your phone book and you're wondering, who among my friends can I actually depend upon? We have friends that once you separate, the same friend you are telling your secrets to, you're telling your struggles to, actually go behind your back and make a mockery out of you. Probably you've told this friend, I'm struggling financially and this thing is bothering me and I have no idea how I'm going to finance my children's school fees when this term begins. The semester is there and you have absolutely no idea how things are going to work out. And then this friend turns around and instead of giving an advice that will help you to tackle that obstacle of lack of finance, they actually go and create stories from who the kind of person you are or your struggle. So you are there wondering, who is my true friend? Who can I talk to? Who can I open up to? Some of us are struggling with that. So you're already struggling with self-esteem issues. And after that, you are not yet done. Something else is coming up. You have to struggle with identifying who your friends are. Oh yes, Nancy, I understand you. And I totally buy into that. That is a big obstacle or struggle that most of us go through every single day. Matasio Kagwa tells me he's following on the road. Thank you so much, Matasio. Na kukubali sana and always watching us and following through the conversations. Remember, this is, of course, Nobody Cares, and we are discussing obstacles. Let me quickly go to shout outs there for who are joining us. We have Rudy hapa kwa hall kiasi. Tulikuwa tumemaliza hiyo. I know Edel is very, very happy and excited, but we were talking about the air hole. My obstacle is how to distinguish real friends from fake ones. Thank you so much for that contribution, Nancy. Watching from Utawala, definitely we mentioned it earlier on, and we had Brian McLove who told us is watching us from Kirinyaga, Kenya. Definitely, thank you so much, much love. There's a quote that says, if you find a path with no obstacles, it probably doesn't lead you anywhere. And I want us to get to that after our short break. But for now, let's take one more from Manjekita. Good evening to you, my dear. How are you doing? Obstacles can be to be afraid to take risks for new challenges and stay in your unhappy daily routine. And definitely we want to sink and soak into that one in a moment. But for now, let's take a quick break. When we come back, we want to discuss much more about obstacles.
Hi, my name is JP and you are watching TheArtsinHeart. Please follow us on our YouTube channel, like, subscribe and share. May God bless you.
Oh, definitely. Thank you so much, JP. You want to do exactly that. You want to follow, like, and subscribe to our channel. For those who are coming here for their first time, that is TheArtsinHeart official on YouTube, TheArtsinHeart on Facebook, Instagram. Without forgetting, drop us an email. That is theartsinheart@gmail.com. In case you have issues or stuff you want us to discuss here on TheArtsinHeart. Let's get back into 8 obstacles. So earlier on, we discussed some of those things and we mentioned friends, we mentioned self-esteem, and I want to mention the idea of being in an uncomfortable situation because it is convenient. Yes, I'm talking about that. Most of the time, we stay in uncomfortable positions or situations because it's convenient. And here you realize the greatest obstacle or impediment is you want it to be comfortable. Without realizing, actually, you are in an uncomfortable position. There's this story that is told about a toad that was once, moving around, doing the thing, and then jumped from outside and went to this room. And then there was this guy that was cooking. And then definitely, toad, they are cold-blooded. So it goes into that pot that was boiling. And the water starts boiling. And then the toad feels like, okay, fine, I need to be moving, but okay, it's a little bit comfortable. I can stay longer. And the longer I stayed, the more the water kept boiling and boiling and boiling. Eventually, the toad died out of the heat from this boiling pan. This is what most of us do. We actually stay in uncomfortable positions because it is convenient. Okay, and I want us not to diverge from what we're talking about obstacles. So you remind yourself that most of the time, the greatest obstacle is the greatest we call comfort. Have you ever been so comfortable that you don't want to leave your bed and go to work? Yes, guys, I've been there before. I have lived through this struggle every single day that I have to wake up. And it's winter. So I'm there and I'm like, oh no, not again. I have to go to work and it's so cold and my bed is so warm. By the time I realize I'm running late for work, and then what happens? Probably you guys will be doing what we said last time, running through the red lights, and then bam, trouble happens. So you find that I'm staying in the warm blanket because it's convenient for my well-being, but it's not the right thing to do. So this is obstructing me from achieving my daily goals on time or in time. So at the end of the day, this brought together, it costs me something. Realize this: you might not actually be having the intention to cause harm, but as you enjoy your comfort zone, you are creating an obstacle that will actually come back to bite you. I want us to talk about another obstacle that we call a relationship comfort zone. And most of us are in that space. Most of us are in a space that we feel, okay, this person A is emotionally abusing me, but it's comfortable to stay here. My greatest obstacle is going out of this that I know. And I know a lot of us struggle with that because sometimes we have bought to the idea of better the devil you know than the angel you've never met. So we are in that bracket of comfort. We are in that bracket of convenient relationship. We're in that bracket of as long as he can show a little bit of support. So we are stuck in that hole, not because it's good for us. We are stuck in that hole because it's convenient. So as time goes by, you get emotionally abused. You even get to some extent physically abused because it's convenient. The greatest problem that a lot of human beings face today is not about them working hard. No, most of us are not struggling from working hard. In fact, I'm aware a lot of young people love working hard. I'm not saying there are people who are not lazy. Yes, they exist. But let's concentrate on the good bracket that loves working hard. The other day, I was having a great conversation with a very close person to me, and they told me, Eli, and this is not malice by any chance, they told me one of the reasons a lot of people will go for vaccinations, it's not because it's what they want to do. It's because they cannot afford to lose their comfort. And as they lose their comfort, they feel they are not in the right space. So notice, it is not because they want to do it. It is because there's something that is preventing them from achieving that comfortable position. And so we will go for this and that choice because it's convenient and it's comfortable. So as we figure out how to deal with our obstacles, I want you to notice one thing, that the greatest way to walk out of a situation is sometimes taking the uncomfortable route. That which a lot of people might believe it is not the easiest. I know of young people that have climbed the professional ladder from one way or another because probably they had to give in and trade a few favors. And you're there, you're wondering, why should I do this? After all, this guy is on my way. Sometimes the obstacles that come before us or in front of our path are not meant to make us weak. They are meant to make us greater thinkers. Have you ever been in a situation that you start off with a great idea and then you believe this is how it's going to be and this is our end goal? And along the line, you realize you are all out on your own. Most of the time, a lot of us will give up. A lot of us will create that self-doubt we talked about, and we'll start believing in the voice that tells us we are not good enough. But at the end of the day, is that what defines you? I want you to realize that as we tackle obstacles, we create and generate new ideas on how to be a better version of us. Because most of us are lost in between tackling the obstacle and stay in that comfortable position. I see some comments coming through here. Says Kali kama pasi. Thank you so much, Makomere. Huyu jamaa niko na vita na yeye, but I hope the US is treating you fine. I know you didn't want to tell people you are there, but you are there. Now they know. Now they know. Obstacles can be an opportunity to grow. It depends on how you look at it. And I'm coming to that. Many people become frustrated because they relate their being obstacle to take deep and difficult decisions. But it is so relief and freedom when you overcome your fear. And realize this, friends, because I want to take on those two very interesting comments there to build on this conversation, is that fear will always inhibit the kind of person you are. Fear will always limit what you are able to achieve. I know of some people who walk into a great interview and a great opportunity, but once they get in, all the brilliant ideas they were coming to sell disappear. It is not because they have no idea what they have to say. It is because the doubts that they have continually generated inside them becomes their identity, and they constantly moving with a cloud called fear, and this becomes their constant stop to what it is they're supposed to achieve. So you are there, but there's constantly a stop sign in front of your face telling you, hey Buddha, where are you headed? This is not where you're supposed to be. You do not belong here. You do not. And again, there's one thing that Nancy mentions here about obstacles can be an opportunity to grow or for growth. And this, I want to totally agree with it. That sometimes you find something that blocks you from going to the next stage. What happens? It's great to come back and sit and go to the drawing board. I want us tonight to do one thing, which is a favor to each and every one of us. Let us go back to the drawing board and ask, if this is my obstacle, how will I face this? Some of us need to face our fears. Some of us need to face our doubts that are within us. And it's very difficult to separate fear and doubt, because most of the time, the doubts within you create some generic fear within you that will stop you from achieving your maximum potentials. And I don't want to be that guy that will come here and sit and tell you this is a must do, this is where you have to be, and this is what you have to achieve. No, I want to be that guy that will come and tell you tonight, those obstacles and fears you're dealing with tonight, you are not special. Many people have the same. The difference that you are going to make tonight is how are you going to face your obstacles? Are you going to create opportunities from them, or are they going to create a coward out of you? Being aware of your environment does not necessarily mean you have to be blind to the reality of it. No, my friends. I want us to remember one thing, that as we face our fears, as we face our obstacles, as we face our adversaries, we are only but human. But as we are human, so is the guy next door. So is your friend in the other space. Do not get to the level that you constantly fight within yourself to identify with the rest. Each and every one of us has their special talents Each and every one of us have their special calling. And until we discover our callings and our talents, we will always feel not good enough. And as rude and as crude as it may sound, people will not really care for the kind of fear you have, but people care for what you can do after you have faced those hurdles. So are you there seated there wondering, what else can I do? The perfect answer is you and only you knows what is the right thing to do. You need to wake up and face your fears. You need to wake up and deal with that which is obstructing you. Like I said in our beginning, when I started off, I said the ABC of life. Check that your airway is functional. Check that you're breathing, and check that there is circulation. When you copy paste this into now dealing with your issues as a human being, dealing with your issues as a young adult, dealing with your issues as a starting profession or a starting entrepreneur, you will realize that the basics of life will always cut across. Whatever you do, remember, you are meant for greatness. I want us to quickly go to some announcements, and as we do that, we'll be coming back with our closing remarks.
We all have to remember that hate crimes is preceded by hate speech. We all have to remember that the genocide of the Tutsis in Rwanda started with hate speech. The Holocaust did not start with the gas chambers. It started long before with hate speech. What we have been seeing in Myanmar against the Rohingya population started also with hate speech. And today, what we are witnessing around this world, with the rise of extremists, be it in Europe, be it in Asia, everywhere, when we see the growing number of neo-Nazi groups, neo-fascist group, when we see the way migrants and refugees are being vilified, we need therefore to make every effort to address this hate speech. We have to bear in mind that words kill. Words kill as bullets. And that is why we need to make every effort to invest on education, to invest on the youth, so that the next generation will understand the importance of living peacefully together. We need to make every effort so that the attacks like the one we have witnessed in Sri Lanka, when churches were attacked, the one we witnessed in New Zealand, what we saw in Pittsburgh, all this has to stop. And to stop it, we need to invest more on mobilizing the youth. We need to use the verb to become a tool for peace, a tool for love, a tool for increasing social cohesion, harmony in our world, instead of being a tool for committing genocide, crimes against humanity.
Thank you very much. Yes, words indeed kill, just like bullets. So as we head into the 2022 elections period, I want us to be part and parcel of the great movement that is TheArtsinHeart, which will be discussing leadership, integrity, and responsibility without forgetting love, cohesion amongst us as Kenyans. So do join us from the month of February 11th as we bring you the Valentine's edition right here on TheArtsinHeart, and I can't wait to bring you much more as we begin this season 3. Friends, as we settle off, I want us to remember that if you fell down yesterday, stand up today. Move on irregardless of setbacks. Great success is made up of many patches before being polished. Your life has a meaning. What you do has every meaning. I mean, right? Rather, let me take that again. What you do has meaning. Your actions are meaningful and inspiring. May you overcome every obstacle, outlast every challenge, break through every barrier, and come out of every battle better off than you were before. My name is Likuyani Eli, and until Thursday, take care of yourself and God bless you.
And now, let the weak say, I am strong. Let the poor say, I am rich because of what the Lord has done for us.